Hello, this is Earl Knudsen,
Jorge Bugarin here with United Real Estate.
and we're going to cover some changes in the laws for 2018. What's the first change on zip forms, George?
Not a recent change, but something really important that people haven't been following as much as we would like is the water conserving fixtures and carbon monoxide detector notice. They still have the carbon monoxide detector notice, but now they have another form that incorporates the water conserving fixtures regulations for Los Angeles.
Right, LA County has their own, but WCMD is now required for 2018 on all files for every company. So you can discontinue to use the CMD, and we may even take it off the checklist because the WMCD is required now for 2018. LA County, whenever you're dealing with LA County and city laws, always check and find out because they have their own conditions on whether you have to check for low flow toilet disclosures and other things or city inspections.
I'm glad that you touched base on that because honestly, hasn't been a law in place where they're actually regulating. So you need to have the form in the file just as a notice to your clients. But before you ask, no, Los Angeles County has not had any requirements, pre-sale requirements in escrow before escrow closes, as to actually confirming that there's low water fixtures. So
that's right.
When we know, you'll know.
You'll also notice a change. There's a big change coming on rental properties.
Yes.
Big changes. Yeah, there's going to be a bed bug addendum to the files.
Sounds gross, but I guess they're trying to encourage tenants to tell the landlords if you guys have a bedbug problem. May or may not be your fault, but you shouldn't let that stop you from disclosing it to the landlord because the landlord would probably want to take care of that. So now we have a form that not only needs to be incorporated with all leases from now on that you'll be doing, but landlords actually will be required to have the current tenant sign this form as well.
And there's also going to be a form, a zip form. Let's say it's June 21st. And this lease that we are doing is going to start on July 1st. There is a special form for you to take and get signed by the tenant that allows you to take the deposit. The lawyers at the DRE have developed a form that allows you to take a check for the deposit on the lease from the tenant, even though they don't get to move in until the move-in date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with the purpose also of this form is I guess as a sort of notice to perform to the tenants. I'm pretty sure it's happened where tenants have the money or they know how much to bring into the landlord's trust account before they're able to move in. But I mean, granted, for personal reasons or whatnot, sometimes you don't get the money in time or you already moved in and you're still waiting for the money. Well, this form is going to prevent that, so you can't even move in until the landlord has received all the money you need. Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's some other changes. Some of you have investor clients. Well, you all do. So those laws have changed, but they're not for us. It's not off zip form. One of the laws that is really, there's been a lot of litigation in this area. And one of the laws is simply like a landlord cannot evict a tenant that reports that there are bed bugs. Like, well, you brought them in, so now get out of my apartment. No. In fact, there is a new law. You can evict a tenant without cause. You cannot evict a tenant for a cause. I'll say it again. You can evict for no reason. You cannot evict for a reason because the reason can always be disputed or be considered vengeance from the landlord, and it is not reason for dissolving the actual contract of lease. So be very careful not to say something or have your client say something, I'm evicting you because of. That's now not going to work. They can take legal action against the landlord.
You don't want to alienate them, basically.
No, you don't give a reason. And if they say, I want a reason, well, they're saying, I want a reason because I want to nullify your eviction. So be very careful on what you say to your clients. And of course, we don't do property management.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's a lot of risk and liability that you don't need to be taking on.
Also, you don't take rent. You don't take rent.
Just don't take checks. Just,
don't take checks.
If someone's going to bring you a check.
Only the initial deposit. That's it.
And even then, tell them to put it in an envelope. And you don't never want to see the check. You don't see the check, you don't have to log it.
Yeah.
You don't have to log it. No trouble later. Now you can mutually cancel a lease or rent And
Monthly rent
which
to
is
rent,
really, it's so odd that they've never had the form like that before. But now, if
There's
it
a
could be
actual
mutual,
form.
you can have a year lease. It's halfway between. Tenant's not happy. Landlord is okay with finding a tenant. You could just have a cancellation
of lease.
and there you could talk about the release of the deposit and whatnot, and then that way you're not stuck.
Last but not least, water meters. California state law, all new apartment buildings that are built, every apartment for rent has to have a water meter.
And it's going to be happening in a lot in the coming, I would say, couple of years, where investment properties that consist of multiple units, you're going to have sub water meters now. So the main house or the front house will have one water meter coming into the main line, and then they'll split it throughout all the other units.
I'm sure you saw all our earlier videos, right? We took care of the talk of having a pet because it's emotional service dog or something of that sort. Well, also a landlord must clarify if they're going to have a no smoking addendum, it has to state of any substance.
And we're talking about that because here in Southern California, or in California, marijuana is legal.
Any substance.
So that doesn't mean that you can smoke marijuana even if you have a doctor recommendation. Landlords are still able to say no, you cannot.
That's right. And they can also specify no B&B. So if I'm the tenant and I'm leasing I'm going away for 6 months and I want to continue to rent but offer up to sublease on a B&B, a landlord has the right to attach an addendum to the original contract that no B&B.
Yeah, I believe if you use the CAR form for the lease agreement, it specifically states that tenant may not sublease, which counts as Airbnb, but it would be good to have a separate addendum to further stipulate that, just so there's no confusion, because the last thing you want is a party happening and you have no idea.
No idea. We'll have more for you on renting. There's always new laws on renting.
Yes.
There's a lot of great things.
Yes.
So we'll have more on that.